Okay, I made a video asking you to ask me questions. Questions about anything. And I said I'd answer them, so I have. Now what I've done is, because there's like 700 questions, a lot of questions were asked. What I've done is I've kind of edited those down to like a short list. I'm getting a phone call. You wait there. Hello? You alright? Because he doesn't have to sing it in the same way. He just has to sing it in a way that works. It's malleable. It's an animation test for Ludwig. That was for the... I'm doing a Ludwig animation test to the song Hellfire, but we're doing all the music and all the stuff from scratch. So it's going to be an original cover from the Fenner family. So look forward to that. But yeah, questions. So I've shortened them down to a shorter list because like obviously can't sit here and answer 700 questions. I'll probably answer like multiple questions with you know in this because you know, so say for example, how do you come up with your characters? I'll probably, in my big answer, I'll probably answer like 10 little questions that I've seen. So let's get started. Who is your favourite character? Okay, well, a lot of people ask this one. My favourite character is a character that you haven't seen yet. Satellite City is part 3 of a 4-part story. And the character that my favourite character in that story is in the first is in all the other parts except Satellite City. Figures, but this character I really enjoy writing. I'm excited for you to see him. He actually gets referenced in the next episode of Satellite City, and even more so. And I'm probably gonna do like a little flashback of who he is because this character's amazing. You just wait. This is the character that starts this whole fucking thing off. Okay, you just wait. But my second favourite character is Lucy Lacemaker because you don't know this yet, but I do. Her character isn't what you think. You know, she's not that two-dimensional. She's not just a psychopath. She's very you know, in depth, and you'll see that in Top Brass Part 3 when she talks to Ludwig. I love Lucy Lacemaker. Another character I really love is Ludwig himself, the big man, Top Brass. Ludwig's great. He's a cunt, but he has to be. He does what he needs to do. And the more you learn about him, I think the more you'll sympathise with his character. So they're my top 3 favourites. I'm sorry I couldn't answer my favourite character, but I just don't want to. I want you to witness him before you know, just yeah. That sums it up. Okay. How many characters do you have? Too many to mention. Like I said, Satellite City is just part 3 of a 4-part story. I've got so many characters. So even in Satellite City, this year, 2018, you're going to see mainly these characters that you've got now because it's going to explore them. But I'm gonna start adding in more. I don't want it to get too cluttered. But for example, Fontaine is from Vegas, and in Vegas there is a settlement of creatures there. Now they're not, Sullivan's house isn't the main kind of settlement for these creatures. That's just like a separate project that Ludwig has, and you will find out about that in Top Brass. But Ludwig is from a much larger settlement in the Satellite City in which they live, in like abandoned train stations. And in these settlements there are many creatures that you will meet eventually. So yeah, loads of characters, don't you worry about that. How did people react to your ideas before they became popular? Now that's a good question because not very well. Oh my god. I used to have a friend called Joe. He was the kind of guy who I'd always kind of like bounce ideas off, and he showed zero fucking interest in everything I said. So that wasn't a good sign. I pitched the idea of Lucy Lacemaker to my university lecturer, Alex Dukes. I went to university for 6 months. It was a piece of shit. I hated it. The people there were cunts. I hated it. I am a self-taught animator, or teach yourself, do it. Blender, I use Blender animation software, it's free. Download Blender, look up Andrew Price tutorials, look up CG Geek tutorials, teach yourself. Do not go to university for anything artistic. It is a fucking black hole, and once you go past the event horizon, you will never fucking escape. So yeah, Alex Dukes told me that Satellite City and Lucy Lacemaker would fail. My family didn't react very well to Lucy Lacemaker. One of them said she looked like roadkill. The only person that believed in my ideas was me, and now that I've actually got what can only be described as a fan base, I would like to just take this opportunity to stick up this middle finger right here and say to all those people who doubted me, fuck you, I was right. Next question. How do you come up with your characters? Okay, life experiences, music. They're very fucking good. My dad's music in particular, Alternative Radio, that's his band. Link in the description below. Check out, listen to all the music on that channel because listen to all that music on that channel because the chances are that's the music that inspired a lot of the creatures. I can tell you right now that the song that started the whole Creatures of the Kibawak theme was the song Concertina Ballerina that my dad wrote. You can find that on my channel. Listen to that. That's where this whole mad thing. I used to listen to that a lot when I was a kid. Lucy Lacemaker, more specifically, I came up with her to the song Unpapa from Oliver Twist. Ludwig was inspired by a roller coaster called the Smiler. Both the music for that roller coaster and the whole kind of thing, the colour scheme itself, just life, you know, because you want your characters to be real, so what better inspiration than reality? How insane are you? I don't know, I speak more than most. Not everyone has the confidence to say what they really think. But yeah, I was always seen as kind of like that freak in school. No one would kind of go near me. I had a very select group of friends. Yeah. But fuck them. Where did you learn to animate? My bedroom. On that computer right there. It's 4 years old now. It's a Mac. Blender, free animating software. Went to university for 6 months, it was shit. Do you actually want to see some of their work, some of the work that the students produced there? Take a look.
I don't want to die. You got the wrong guy. I was double-crossed by a dirty rat. Actually, this rat was a dog, but his car ran me down. I just flew out of jail. I just got back to town. Hey, this is hard to explain. May I speak to your superior? Because I don't want to die.
So yeah. That's the university. That's where I went to learn how to animate. How do you get over anxiety? I'm not qualified to answer that question. I've never had anxiety. I've never had depression. Only because I consider myself to be so lucky to even exist, to be born. How dare I moan about existence? A lot of people seem to be down in the dumps recently. It seems to be like the big thing. I'm miserable, I'm depressed, this is what's wrong with me, Fucking cheer up, come on, you're here, have a laugh. You know, have a cup of tea, enjoy yourself, go out for a walk. You know, people in school, I'm getting bullied, everyone gets bullied, I got bullied. Do you know what I did? I punch people, that's what you do. You just take it on the chin, you know. Life's a box of chocolates, you know. You're not going to enjoy every single one of them, but you know, there will be things in there you do enjoy, especially you people in the first world. What are you complaining about? You've got everything for you. Do not complain. Now, yeah, anxiety, depression, they are real things, but I'm not going to insult those people by pretending that I have any of those issues. I do not. I'm very happy, I'm very content, I'm very lucky. Privileged may be the word, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm happy. I'm not going to lie. I enjoy life, especially now that I have an audience for my animations. I've got nothing to complain about. What? I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, my animations, they reflect my pain. No, they reflect my happiness, my euphoria. Fuck yes, yeah. So yeah, I'm not qualified. How do you get over anxiety? I really don't know. Just try and enjoy things. Watch TV shows. I don't know, positive things. Surround yourself with positive things, positive people, positive media, positive books, things in general, and it'll get better. Find things to do. Get busy. The most depressed people are always the people who have nothing to do. Do things. Life is there. Just do it. The reason I'm so happy, I think, is because every day I wake up to work. I animate. I enjoy things. I write. I play the keyboard now and again. I like talking to myself and people that are positive like me. And that just it becomes like a snowball effect. It's exponential. So just do that and you'll be fine. Will there ever be a musical episode of Satellite City? Yes, there will be. There is a character I'm introducing pretty soon, and he is a character who basically all his dialogue is music. I enjoy musicals. I love musicals. There will be musical episodes of Satellite City because that'll be cool. What is your favourite TV show or movie? I always enjoyed The Animals of Farthingwood as a kid. That was something that I really enjoyed. The characters in that. With the book, not as much. Of the book, the characters felt a bit flat. The TV show did the story a lot better, I feel. Animals of Farthingwood, watch that. It's fantastic. Red Wall is another one. Silver Wing is another one. Terminator, Alien, Predator. Fuck, I love Predator. Just stuff like that. Little Shop of Horrors is a good one. Damn, so many films. Big Fish is a good film. An excellent film. I don't think I have a favourite film. I think my favourite films are the ones I'm going to make. So, yeah. What's the worst physical pain you've ever experienced? I have never experienced any serious physical pain in my life. I've been in fights before. I've been punched in the face, but that's just part and parcel of going to school. I punch them a lot harder, trust me. Yeah, I kind of look after myself, I like to think. I've got a scar on my head, but that's when I was a kid, where our toilet got destroyed and my brother thought it was a good idea to smash that piece of the toilet over my head. It was an accident, but that's probably the biggest amount of damage I've ever caused to my body, and I can't even really remember that. So yeah, not much physical pain there. Why do the creatures call me Sullivan? Well, Sullivan is the character I play. Satellite City is a story. So within that story, the character I play is called Sullivan, who's a human character that the creatures seem to have adopted in a way. So that is that. They all, obviously Sullivan's in charge of the house. It's his house, his rules. So you're going to learn a lot more about who Sullivan is and what role he plays in this Kivawakian experiment. What are the creatures featured in Satellite City? The creatures are from a plane known as the Kiviwak. They are Kivawakians. The Kiviwak is a place, basically, an easy way to describe the Kiviwak is try and imagine a sphere inside out. It's very difficult. It's kind of like that quantum mechanics thing. The human brain cannot comprehend where they're from. I'm still going to try and show where they're from. I'm going to have to be very clever with that. You might actually be able to see behind me. I don't know. There's some science books that I've been reading about quantum mechanics in the attempt of trying to show their world, because I want it to be something like no one's ever seen before. But all we know is wherever they're from, it's gone now, and they're here. They're here in hiding out on Earth. Ludwig is in charge, and you're going to find out more from there. But they are Kivawakians. They are all, except Heisenflay. Heisenflay is not a creature of the Kiviwak. Heisenflay is something else. You will find more about that in top brass. Sullivan is not a creature of the Kiviwak. He's human. Everything else is Kivawaki, and they're all the same species. So Lucy is the same creature as Winifred. They are Kivawakians. They are from the Kiviwak. And the way they look, the way they are, will be explained in the future. What are the relationships between them? Well, that's a very diverse topic, Ludwig, the thing is, what I want to try and do with the creatures is I want to make them really realistic in terms of how they act. So you may think Ludwig's a cunt. He's a cunt to everyone. Not really. He treats some characters like Fontaine with the highest respect. He treats Lucy as kind of like an old friend. Shuck as kind of like almost like a prodigy. Fleischer he treats like dirt. Winifred, just loads of characters Ludwig interacts with differently, as you will see in Top Brass. The characters treat each other differently depending on their personal preferences, in terms of personality. So it's a very open question, but you'll see as they develop. Does Winifred talk? Winifred does not talk. I've never heard her talk. She can talk. She has a tongue. There's no biological reason why she can't talk. She just doesn't. She can't see. She's fucked in that respect. But she can talk. She just does not. What's the story between Winifred and Fleischer? I think Fleischer feels sorry for Winifred and just kind of wants to protect her. That seems to be it so far. I don't know if anything's going on. I wouldn't know. Winifred might be a bit out of Fleischer's league. Are you religious? I am not religious. I am not religious. That's nothing to do with animosity. I don't hate religious people. That's just because I only believe things that have been tested, things that have been proven. I believe we evolved because I can go to a museum and see what we evolved from. Humanity itself has witnessed evolution. There have been birds, I can't remember the exact name, but they have evolved. We've witnessed them evolve different beaks for different seeds and nuts. It is something we see. Metamorphosis, it is observable in nature. I believe in gravity and space-time because I've read books and I found the evidence in those books to be sufficient. Religion does not have that for me. It is something that cannot be tested. It cannot be proven. It's all about faith. That doesn't do it for me. I'm afraid it's just not enough. It's just not enough, I'm afraid. The child's brain is like a sponge. It's a necessity in order to survive, so it takes in everything around it. It listens to everything that the parent says. Without question, it listens because it has to. And the parent says unto the child, don't touch the fire, it'll burn you. Don't touch the knife, it'll cut you. Don't go near the wolf, it'll eat you. There is a God, And if that's given the same level of truth and credence as the other things, fire burns you, knives cut you, wolves eat you, there is a God, then they're just going to grow up believing that to be truth. And that's how it happens. That's why people believe it because they've been brought up, they've been programmed to believe that to be true. Now, it's not true, or at least I don't believe it to be true. And think on this, if we were to take all the religious texts and tomes and burn them, hypothetically, in 1,000 years' time they'd all be different. Because they can't be tested, they can't be measured, they'd all be different. If we were to take all the scientific books, texts and tomes and burn them, in 1,000 years' time they'd all be back. Because the same tests would be done, we'd get the same answers, and science would just come back. Science isn't the claim that we know everything. Science is the claim that we don't know everything, but we're trying. A lot of religious people say that it's the people who follow science have this pomposity about them that they say they know everything. The opposite is true. I mean, the religious people are the people that say they know everything, that they know happens well. So a Christian knows what happens after you die. I don't even know that. So who's the pompous one? I don't believe in any gods, and a Christian believes in one God, and there have been thousands of gods: Odin, Zeus, Allah, Poseidon. They don't believe in those gods, do they? They believe in one God. So they're almost as much as an atheist as I am. I just don't believe in one more God than them. So. Yeah, if it gets proven, then great. If it doesn't, then great. So that's the burden of proof isn't we can't exactly disprove God, but that's not the point. The point is we can't prove him, and until any type of religion has been proven, I'm not going to believe it. That's just the way I think. How long does it take you to animate? I can animate a 3-minute animation in a week. I can, more specifically, about 3 days. The rest of the time is rendering. I animate pretty quickly. I've got my own techniques for lip syncing and animation in general. What the Flop on YouTube, or Carmen, she knows a few of the secrets of how I animate. I kind of come up with, I've developed my own techniques for certain things. So yeah, 3-minute animation in about a week. The reason you haven't been seeing the 3-minute animations every week is because I've got a lot more going on. You'll find out later in the video exactly what I've got going on, but yeah, that's about it. If I wanted to, like I said, that would have to be like a week of solid work. So, who's the most fun character to work with? That would have to be Lucy Lacemaker, because I like her face. I like animating her face. Her movements and all that. Ludwig is also another fun one. Mainly because I like his dialogue. I like lip syncing Ludwig. I've got great voice actors, so working with all of their voices is a pleasure. But in terms of like actually animation, I'd have to say Lucy, just because of how she moves and what she is. She's always a challenge. I've always got her doing something challenging, like in the last one, Hush Hush, just disappearing into a bunch of flies. That was just like, I didn't need to do that, but it's Lucy, so I've got to do something. In Black Snow, I wanted to redo her hair. There's always something with Lucy that's a challenge, and that's what I really like. How many characters are there, and can we have a few names? Like I said, I've got loads of characters, but there's Hayden is a character. The thing is, right now they're just going to be names, so I'd rather just kind of introduce them as they come. But I can say like Hayden and Helgen, because they get mentioned pretty soon. But for the rest of them, I think it's better to just kind of keep the names a secret as well, because names are important. So, what are your opinions on furries? I don't know. I feel like there's a big hypocrisy when it comes to furries, because you have like Mickey Mouse, which is like one of the most celebrated characters of all time. He's an anthropomorphic mouse, wears human clothing, talks like a human. Brilliant. Lion King, brilliant. Zootopia, brilliant. All those stuff, brilliant. Goofy, brilliant. Daffy Duck, brilliant. And then you have the furries who come up with an anthropomorphic character, and it's seen as like disgusting or like this taboo thing. It's moronic. I don't think furries should even be a classification. They shouldn't be furry characters. They're just characters. People call some of my characters furry characters. What are you talking about? I mean, yeah, they're characters with fur on, but that's about it. They're not furry characters. They're characters. Most of my characters don't have fur on. It's only a few that do. Very, very odd. So no, I don't have any problem with furries. I don't even think that should be a classification of people. They should just be people who make characters. And some of them are really well designed, and it annoys me that you have like a Disney fucking raking in all the big bucks and the consumers worshipping Disney for all this shit. And then you have these other people who get condemned for it. It's awful. How would you come up with the names for your characters? Just things that sound good, or things with kind of like a bit of a meaning behind them for me personally. So Fleischer is named after Max Fleischer, who did the Fleischer cartoons. They were patented in 1917, I think. Out of the Inkwell was one of those. I think that combined like human actors with cartoon characters. And the reason Fleischer's called that is because 100 years later, I'm doing exactly the same thing, only with CGI. So Fleischer's name is a very important name to me. Ludwig was named after, I think it's a musician called Ludwig, but more specifically the Ludwig boss from Bloodborne. And because, and mainly because, and that might sound arbitrary, like, you named him after a video game character. No, well, the thing is, you have to play Bloodborne to understand why I call Ludwig, because originally he was called something else. the character in Bloodborne's a very cryptic game, and you hear mention of this Ludwig character throughout, and when you eventually face him, he's this horrible, contorted beast with a bit of humanity remaining, and that's why I called Ludwig in Satellite City Ludwig from Bloodborne, because Ludwig is this heartless cunt, but you know he's still got something left. You know, so again, Lucy Lacemaker was, you know, that name started out as a bit of a joke, but then I really kind of grew attached to the name Lucy Lacemaker. You know, I just like that one. So Heisenplay is Heisenplay from Watership Down. What do you do in your free time? Come up with more ideas, animate. My work and free time are one and the same thing. There is no such thing as free time for me. There is no such thing as work. There is just life and what I do. I just enjoy it so much. Why are Ludwig, Wexel and Fontaine treated like leaders? Because they are leaders. Ludwig is in charge of the whole Kivawakian operation. He is the top brass. He is the boss. Wexel is kind of like his advisor, almost like a second in command. Fontaine is kind of like almost like a travelling salesman, except he's not selling anything. He kind of travels around to the different settlements and just keeps things in order. He's inspired by a real life person I know called Arthur Johnson, who's a man of the world and knows people. I'm meeting him tomorrow actually, and I'll tell you about that at the end. So yeah, Fontaine is very high up, Wexel is very high up, and Ludwig is the highest. Favourite horror game? I don't play many horror games. I need to, but horror games I have enjoyed consisted of Alien Isolation, The Evil Within, Resident Evil 7 was really good, Resident Evil 4 was really good. I really can't really say I've played any mainstream ones like Five Nights at Freddy's. I've never played it. I made an animation of it just because I thought the characters were weird and kind of cool. Never played it though. Played a bit of Slender. That's a good concept for a game. But yeah, I need to play more horror games. I like horror films, even though most of them are shit. Would you ever animate yourself? I assume that means like me as a pet. No, I would never animate me as a pet. Here's the thing. Why would I animate me when I already exist? Surely animation is a tool to bring to life the things that can't possibly exist. Surely that's what animation should be used for. As an extension to the imagination, as an extension to what already exists. I already exist. I don't need to animate myself. I just film myself and animate the creatures around me. Or so I say. I mean, they're not really animated. They're just they're upstairs right now. That's the funny thing about my channel. People think like the creatures are animated, but I've said too much. Will you ever write a book? I am writing a book right now. It is called The August View. It is the first chapter in the 4-part story of Satellite City. I hope to get that adapted to a TV show along with Satellite City. In fact, I might as well tell you now. Here is the screenplay for the Satellite City TV show. I've written that. I'm still in its draft 8. I'm working on it. It's a lot more serious than the YouTube adaptation. The YouTube adaptation is more like a character study. But I'm meeting with people tomorrow about that, and that is the plan, to get Satellite City on television. Which one of your characters is the most tame? That would definitely be Fleischer. Fleischer is like a little bookworm. Shuck is pretty tame as well, but Shuck has it within him to be a violent cunt. Lucy and Shuck, they click. But yeah, Fleischer is definitely the most tame. What's the story behind the music on your channel? Well, I am Sam Fenner, my dad is Rob Fenner, and back in his day he had a very successful band called Buster, very big in Japan. They still get fan mail. Now he has a band called Alternative Radio. He's published a book with my mum, that's Julie's Banjo, that is getting adapted into a play called Lennon's Banjo, and hopefully a film in the next few years. And the music that my dad produces, I feel, has always been underrated. I love his music. Like I said, link in the description below, alternative radio. Listen to that music. You need it in your life. And whenever I can, I always want to try and feature my dad's music on the channel, because I feel like it deserves exposure. And it's brilliant. So, what are your political opinions? Well, here's the thing. This is an easy one. I listen to what the left have to say, and I listen to what the right have to say, and I listen to what he has to say, and she has to say. Right? And here's what I do. It's amazing. I take in all the information, like an unbiased person should do, and then I vote and form opinions based on what I've heard. Unfortunately, politics has become like a fucking football game, where it's red versus blue, left versus right, and you cannot agree with anything that the left say if you're on the right, or anything that the right say if you're on the left, or anything that she says if you're with him. It's a fucking mess. We're being led by fucking buffoons. Theresa May, our Prime Minister, is a coward, a fucking useless bint. Donald Trump is such an idiot. I mean, he says what he thinks, which is always to be respected, well done, and he's a lot of the time he's completely right, but god fucking damn it, he's an idiot. So yeah, my political opinions are my own, right? I listen to what everyone. I don't belong to a team. I'm not on the left, I'm not on the right. Well, I tell you what, I am on the right now, because I agree with what most of the right say, right? That might change, but I don't belong to the right. If the left can persuade me otherwise, I'll listen to what they have to say, and I'll go over there. You know, that's what politics is. It should be a debate, not a fucking war. What do you think of Trump? I just fucking said. I mean, hasn't the American government just been shut down? I mean, fuck me, like a cartoon. Oh my god. The trouble is, we've got so many people leading us who don't even understand the lands on which they lead. Trump, what does he know about his own fucking country? He doesn't live in the real fucking world. Theresa May, people said, what's the naughtiest thing you've ever done? And she said, oh, running through the fields of corn. What fucking human does that? How can we entrust the leadership of our country to people who don't know what our countries fucking are? Anyway, what got you into animating? Just wanting, when I was a kid at school, I'd look out the window of my maths class and just imagine there was a creature there waving to me, and I'd think, would I run out the classroom and risk getting in trouble? Yes, I would. I'd go down, I'd talk to the creature, what would it say, and I'd just play out this scenario of escaping my boring life. And then I wanted to actually make that happen. I didn't just want to imagine sitting having a cup of tea with Shock. I wanted to do it, and I wanted people to see me do it, and I wanted to make that real for everyone else. So that is my inspiration. More specifically, in terms of people who inspired me to animate, that'll be Ray Harryhausen. What with Clash of the Titans, Jason and the Argonauts, Sinbad, stuff like that. Seeing all these creatures come to life, and then I thought I can do that. I can do that better. I can do that a lot better. The mistake that they always make in the film industry is making all the imaginative creatures just dumbass background characters or monsters. No. What my job is to bring those to the foreground. What do these creatures have to say? And that is Lucy Lasemaker, that is Shock, that is these characters. And that is why I think I've actually got a chance in the film industry, because what I'm going to do is so fucking different. Watch out, Disney. I don't mean to be mean or anything, but I'm going to burn your little mouse house to the fucking ground. What is the meaning of life? That has got to be one of the fucking most annoying questions of all time. There is no meaning of life, okay? It is not life's job to have a meaning. Life is the server. Life is the plane on which we exist. It is our job to give life meaning. That is our job, okay? Life is like this. Life, kiddos. Life is like a piece of paper, okay? At its face value, it's blank, it's void of all meaning and purpose, okay, and that's good. It is your job to draw the picture, to write the story, okay? Life is the paper, you are the pencil, you are the meaning of life, you give life meaning. I've given my life meaning. It is I don't ever want to die. I want to destroy Disney. I want to make Fenner an immortal name. Okay, I want to tell stories the likes of which no one has ever seen. Yeah? I want to genetically create the first werewolf. I'm going to do these things because why the fuck not? Because I haven't set myself limitations. You know, and that is why for me life has always been, it will always be interesting, you know. I want to wake up every morning and make creatures for people, you know. That's the meaning of life for me. I've given my own life meaning, you give your life meaning. You do you. You are the meaning of life. To you. What do you hope to accomplish with your work? Well, film and media and storytelling has always been a pivotal part of politics and the way we are as humans. It reflects, you know, the mood of society and everything like that. The Charlie Chaplin films spring to mind, especially around the time of World War II, with his film The Great Dictator. A lot of people called him a communist for that. He was actually exiled from America for being a communist, which he wasn't. But yeah, you know, everyone hated him for that film, and then the Second World War broke out, and he became a genius overnight. So it's always the trouble with film now is film isn't to just entertain people. It's to reflect the world back at people. There should be a statement. One of the biggest misconceptions is it's not an artist's place to comment on society. It is. That's what an artist is. That's its job. If you're writing a story, have a point. I'm going to quote Trains, Planes and Automobiles. Have a point. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener, you know? If you're writing a story, have a fucking point. Otherwise, guess what it is? Pointless, you know? Film isn't a window to another world. That's a lie, because it's not a window, it's a mirror. And it should reflect the world back at the audience in a distorted way, like a funhouse mirror, you know. The reflections are exaggerated and, like I said, distorted, and these exaggerations and distortions can be offensive or upsetting to some, but you know what else they are? Fucking valuable and necessary, okay? So that's what I hope to accomplish with my work, to make at least a few people think, to make myself think. You know, I'm not excluded from this. You know, I watch films, I write, I do these things to further enrich my own life. And that's what I want to do for other people. You know, Marvel, what the fuck do they... The Justice League, what the fuck, what has that got to say about anything? Fuck all. God damn. That fucking... Films now just exist to make money. And that's I need to change that. I'm gonna change that. Disney, step the fuck aside, okay? Let someone else take the fucking reins. You've lost it. You're fucking finished, my friend. Fenner is here now. It's okay. That's what I hope to accomplish. Laugh at me if you will, but know this. If I don't succeed, at least I tried. If I do succeed, then I was right. You gotta try, always try. Can you play any instruments? I play a bit of the keyboard. That's about it. Do you eat kids? You know, what more can you ask from a nutritious breakfast? Who inspires you? My mum always said, on my, I think it was my 16th birthday, my mum said to me, never live in awe of anyone. That's what she said, and I agree with her. I listen to what people have to say, and if what they have to say is valuable, I'll take that on board. I don't follow anyone like a fucking disciple. I think that's unhealthy. I don't think anyone should. But Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, their writing of The Office and Extras and all that stuff, brilliant. They definitely inspired me as writers. Ray Harryhausen as an animator. Stephen King. Anyway, but I suppose that's the thing. Any more Steam Power Giraffe videos? Well, here's what happened with them. I love Steam Power Giraffe as musicians and stuff, and they seem nice. They fucking suck at business, though. My God. So this is before my channel kind of blew up in a sense, and I reached out to them via Twitter. I was talking to Isabella Bunny Bennett, and I said, "Hey, I like your music. I want to animate some of your music videos." Now, some of you have subscribed to my channel for the reason of this guy makes some pretty cool animations. Now, if I came to you and said I will animate a 3-minute thing for you for free, just because I want a bit of exposure, would you say no? Of course you wouldn't. You'd say yeah, go on. Symbiotic relationship. And you know what? She said yes. She said yeah, go on. Do a little animation test. So I did the animation test, the rabbit animation test, and another animation test which you haven't even seen yet. But I can't upload it because the song was copyrighted. Oops. By them. And then I kind of got the cold shoulder and nothing happened. I don't know why, but it's too late, I suppose. I wanted exposure and I got exposure, just not from what they did, just from my own stuff, which is good. But yeah, I really like their music and I really like them as people, but they really didn't. They didn't take advantage of what I was offering them. I was offering them like multiple 3-minute animated music videos for free, and they chose to ignore me. That doesn't, that. My God. So I'm bored of that now. So I'm just going to keep going with Satellite City, and I'm gonna stay on my road to success. How do you come up with original stories? A lot of people ask me like that, and how to deal with writer's block. I never had writer's block. I've got the opposite of writer's block. I've got too much that I want to say. I've always had that problem. I've got too many things I want to do. This is why I think I need to own an animation firm, an animation company. If I had the power of Disney, the stuff I do, the fucking stories I would tell, my days. So I've never had writer's block or any of that. I might. I'm still young. Everyone gets writer's block eventually. But yeah, so I usually just think about like what's happened in my life. Is there anything I can take inspiration from to get around that particular point? That's what I would do. Music is always good. Listen to music. Music's very emotional. It does something to you. You have people who are like paralyzed. Well, not paralyzed, but you have people who are like suffering from dementia. They listen to a song from their childhood and they come alive. Music does something to you. So if ever you've got writer's block, listen to a good song. I can almost guarantee that will help. Favorite YouTubers? JonTron. He uploads a bit slow, but you know what? Quality over quantity. That's always been my way. JonTron, definitely. The Nostalgia Critic, Angry Joe, a bit of Markiplier, only because you don't really need to focus on anything. It's just a voice in the background, because when I'm working I like something to be on in the background. That's great. Listen to the Ricky Gervais show, Carl Pilkington, Idiot Abroad, stuff like that. It's always good. Yeah. Do that. Oh, What the Flop. Subscribe to What the Flop. I can't believe she only has she's only got like 24,000 subscribers, 26, I can't remember. But she does cartoon animations, really fucking good animations. So subscribe to her. And Digby the Goat. What's the first character you ever came up with? That was a creature called the lizard ray. It was kind of like a big serpent-like thing with like a drill thing in it. It was weird. I've actually revamped that creature, and that's going to go in part 4 of the 4-part story that is, of which like Satellite City is the 3rd part. He's not like a main character, but he's definitely one of the top characters in part 4, definitely. So yeah, he was the first, the lizard ray. He's not called the lizard ray anymore, so that was the first. What's the worst part of animating? Well, I animate in layers, so I'll do like the basic movements of where they are position-wise, rotation, shit like that. Then I'll animate like, you know, the body swaying and just keeping the movement alive. Then I'll animate like the head and all that, then the arms, and just layer it in, tail, hands, ears, face, until I've got like a full animation. And the most frustrating part is always the hands and the ears, because the hands are always moving. They're very expressive, especially with the rodent creatures. They've always kind of got their arms, the hands to the chest, and they've always kind of got something going on there. Fontaine, animating Fontaine's hands and just moving them around, that took fucking ages. The ears is another one, because they move, they have to kind of like have a rhythm to them with the head, you know, they have to go in time. So stuff like that, frustrating, but it's always worth it. It always looks really good. Does anyone else think Lucy Lacemaker is gay? That's one of the questions. I thought that was obvious. What do you fear the most? Death. And that's it. That's the only thing I fear, because I enjoy this too much. I enjoy life too much. Not the iPad. I enjoy life too much. I don't want to die ever. In fact, I don't intend to die. In fact, living forever is scientifically possible. I think the brain is immortal, actually. I don't think the brain ages, because I don't think it has. Anyway, I don't think brain cells don't regenerate. I think they're just consistent. So, anyway, there is a way of living forever, and I will find it, and I don't want to die ever. Who would want to die? So, death. I'm not scared of any insects, any ghosts, I don't believe in ghosts or any of that mumbo jumbo. But yeah, just, I don't want to die, that's it. Death. Have you ever had any help animating? No. All self-taught. Like I said, I went to Edge Hill University for about 6 months. That was shocking. I think the place got robbed. I think my computers got stolen while I was there. Fucking awful place. Awful fucking place. Universities in general just seem to be like, just catalysts for stupidity. Yeah, just self-taught. No one in my family animates, except for my uncle, but again, that's stop. He animates in stop motion, and I started out in stop motion, but no one in my family can animate to the level I can. Definitely not. So, in fact, most of my family don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about when I refer to animation. My dad still has difficulty understanding what it is I do. Everyone does. I've kind of got my own thing going. I mean, they understand the characters and it Satellite City in terms of the story, but whenever I try and explain to them how it's done, they get confused, so I've kind of given up trying to help them understand. They're interested, it's just, you know, they're from a different time. Where did the title Satellite City come from? That came from the title of one of my dad's songs called Satellite City, and that is the song that I came up with. That song inspired the character of Sullivan. Yeah, Satellite City, that's kind of like that. He lives in a satellite city, which is kind of like a fucking, just a really depressing kind of environment, you know, a very industrial. I don't think I'm ever going to give that city a name. I think it's just going to be referred to as the Satellite City. I quite like that. How do you relieve stress? Moan. It's people that annoy me the most. Not like people in general, but people working with people can be very annoying. Before Satellite City became in any way popular, just trying to convince people that the idea would work was stressful. I was trying to cast a guy called Danny as Ludwig, for example, and I met up with him with the voice actor for Fleischer, and this guy Danny was just like fucking such a cunt. I mean, my brother almost punched him. He was such a cunt. We're there trying to explain the idea that the creatures are kind of like the main characters and that humanity kind of takes a back seat for this one, and we're going to be focusing on these for the first time. We're going to be tipping the tables, and they're sitting there going, but why would the audience relate to these creatures? And that just kind of sums up his imagination. Fuck it, I'm not going to go on about it, but he was an unimaginative, boring fuck. That's about it for the questions. So I'm going to a meeting tomorrow to try and to get on the road to getting Satellite City on television. Expect more Satellite City content more frequently. I'm gonna try and really step it up now, because like I said, I've had that on my mind. But after tomorrow, I should have a plan for that. So the next episode of Top Brass will be coming out this week, very soon. And then the next one, and the next one. And I just want to expand the story. That's the plan. But yeah, and remember, if obviously I couldn't answer all 700 questions, but I might do another one, maybe with the voice actors, maybe with the characters, if you want to ask them anything. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And remember, if any of my answers annoyed you, just remember, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be completely honest. Because if I was to lie to you and just tell you what you want to hear, that would just be an act of complete disrespect for your intelligence. So, I'm just gonna be honest. Okay, that is it. I hope you enjoy that. Oh, I've been selling this chair for too long. And as always, I don't have an outro, and I'm not gonna get an outro because that shit's cringy.